Hey students, this is lesson 4.3. In this lesson, we're going to learn how to prove two triangles congruent using the angle-side-angle postulate and the angle-angle-side theorem. Go ahead and do the review. I'll check back with you. All right, here's the postulate that we're going to use. If two angles on the included side of one triangle are congruent to two angles on the included side of another triangle, then the two angles are congruent. Number 10 says explain how the angle-side-angle postulate is different from the side-angle-side postulate. Go ahead and try that. You can check back for my answer. Okay, so we're going to use angle-side-angle to show that these two triangles are congruent. So we want to pick the two that are showing angle-side-angle. And so we're going to match up the corresponding parts. So the corresponding parts are A, angles A, J, and D are shown congruent. And then we have three right angles on here. We have right angles B, K, and E. And then we have the sides. We have side AB. We have side JK. And we have side EF. Now to use angle-side-angle, we need two angles and the included side. And if you look closely here, this side is not between the two angles, D and E. So that side is not included. So we're going to say that these two triangles, triangle ABC is congruent to triangle JKL by the ASA postulate. All right, try that. All right, we're going to write a proof using angle-side-angle. And to use that, we need two angles and the included side. So I'm just going to make some notes over here. For one angle, we can say angle L and P are congruent. And that's given. For a side, we can say that LM is congruent to PO, and that's also given. And then for one more angle, we can say that angle M is congruent to angle O, and that's because they're both right angles. All right angles are congruent. So now I'm going to go ahead and write that up. So we have I'll pause here and fill in the reasons, and you can check back. All right, here's your reasons for that proof. Go ahead and try one on your own. This is not an example of a paragraph type proof. Fill in the reasons. You check back with your answer. All right, one more theorem we're going to be using here. Angle-angle-side theorem. Two angles in the non-included side of one triangle are congruent to two angles in the corresponding non-included side of another triangle. Then the two angles are congruent. So if you look at these two triangles, the non-included congruent sides are segment AC and segment E. All right, we're going to do a proof using that theorem. So we're going to prove these two triangles are congruent here. I'm going to do a paragraph proof for this one, so I'll show you how to do that. But basically, what we're going to do here is we're going to use angle, angle, side. So we need an angle and an angle and a side. And the angles that we're given that are congruent are angle B congruent to angle D. And we can also say that angle BCA is congruent to angle DCA. And that's because all right angles are congruent. And then we have a non-included side, AC, is congruent to AC by the reflexive property. So those are the steps we're going to use. I'm just going to fill them in. All right, so notice I have 3 boxes here, and they all feed into one big box. So, and those boxes are going to represent our angle, and our side. So we're going to take our angle B is congruent to angle D, and that's given. And our angle, our side AB is congruent to side AD. And that is also given. And then our angle that we have, that's going to come from, actually I better move this over here. Not quite the right order, but I'm going to put angle ACB and angle ACD are both right angles. And then from that we can say that angle ACB is congruent to angle ACD, and that's because all right angles are congruent. And then now we have 2 angles, this angle and this angle, and a non-included side. So we're going to say that triangle ABC is congruent to triangle ABC by the angle, angle, side theorem. All right, you try it. All right, determining whether triangles are congruent. Which of the following best represents the answer is a justification to the question, are the triangles congruent? Okay, so we see that angle U and angle S are both right angles, so angle U is congruent to angle S. We got that. So we got one angle. We got angle R is congruent to angle T. And that's just a given. So we got another angle. And then if you look at the picture, we have that RT is congruent to RT. And that's by the reflexive property. So that's a non-included side. So we're going to say yes by angle, angle, side. All right, you try that. All right, that's it. Go ahead and do the lesson check, and I will see you next time we meet.